The acquittal of actor Dileep, the Malayalam actor Dileep, and he was accused in an assault case of 2017. This was with regard to a female actor. He was acquitted by a sessions court in Ernakulam in Kerala today, and this, I don't know what it means. What does it mean for the fight against women harassment, sexual harassment? And what is this? Is it just justice at play, or is it just power at play? You have the details.
That's right. Multiple questions, as you rightly raised there, Vasudha. The noted Malayalam film star Dileep was accused in the gang rape of a woman Malayalam film star in 2017, and his acquittal comes as a huge blow to the campaign against sexual harassment of women in Malayalam cinema. The investigation turned to Dileep after his then wife, actor and noted actor, may I say, Manju Warrier, claimed that the sexual assault and gang rape by the accused, this was 6 accused, was done on the directions of Dileep as an act of vengeance for informing her about his extramarital affairs. The case became a huge rallying point for women stars and spearheaded by the Women in Cinema Collective in Kerala, which was formed by well-known women film personalities. It led to an enormous focus on sexual offences in the film industry in Kerala there. 9 years later, the acquittal raises many questions, as you rightly pointed out, Vasudha. The most important is the impact on the fight against sexual harassment of women in Malayalam cinema. A special panel up ahead. But first, listen in to the actor Dileep and other reactions to that verdict.
ഈ കേസിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ ഗൂഢാലോചന എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്നെ പ്രതിയാക്കാനാണ്. സമൂഹത്തിൽ എൻ്റെ കരിയർ, എൻ്റെ ഇമേജ്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം നശിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ, നിങ്ങൾ 9 വർഷം പറഞ്ഞില്ല കേട്ടോ, ഞാനൊന്ന് 1 പ്രാവശ്യം എൻ്റെ കൂടെ നിന്ന് എല്ലാ കുടുംബാംഗങ്ങളോടും, എൻ്റെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളും അവരുടെ കുടുംബങ്ങളോടും, അതുപോലെ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി കാണാത്ത കേൾക്കാത്ത ആളുകൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര്, കോടിക്കണക്കിന് ആൾക്കാർ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരോടൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. അതുപോലെ ഈ 9 വർഷത്തോളം എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി അഹോരാത്രം എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി അത് ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ട് ഡിഫെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത എൻ്റെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ലോയേഴ്സ്, അതിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം, രാമപിള്ള സാർ, അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം കടപ്പാട് ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. അതുപോലെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കൂടെയുള്ള സുജേഷ് മേനോൻ, പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ കോളേജ് മേറ്റ്, എൻ്റെ സീനിയറായിരുന്ന ഫിലിപ്പ് ടി വർഗീസ്, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അസോസിയേറ്റ്സ് ശുഭ, നിത്യ തുടങ്ങിയ മറ്റുള്ള ജൂനിയേഴ്സ്, അതുപോലെ സുപ്രീം കോടതിയിലെ മോൾ റോത്തഗി സാർ, രഞ്ജിത റോത്തഗി, പ്രഖ്യാമം, വംശി തുടങ്ങിയ മറ്റുള്ള ലോയേഴ്സ്, എല്ലാവരോടും ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. അതുപോലെ എന്നെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഈ 9 വർഷക്കാലത്തോളം ജീവിപ്പിച്ച, എന്നെ അത്രയും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത ഒരുപാട് ആളുകളുണ്ട്. അവരുടെ പേരെടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തീരില്ല. അവർ വിവിധ മേഖലയിലുള്ള ആളുകളാണ്. അവരോടെല്ലാം ഈ നിമിഷത്തിൽ ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ടുള്ള നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. എല്ലാവരോടും ഒരുപാട് സന്തോഷം.
Well, that's actor Dileep there, Vasudha. But whether it's the Justice Hema Committee report leading to no concrete action or this acquittal, has all this destroyed that momentum in the fight against sexual harassment in Malayalam cinema, which was an important issue, let's not forget? Was it a prosecution failure, or did these charges and the campaign lack substance? Joining us this evening, in a bit, we will be joined by Beena Paul, member of the Women in Cinema Collective, actor and activist. Ranjini joins us, senior advocate TRS Kumar, Vimala Bindu, advocate at the Kerala High Court, and also NDTV's consultant who tracks Indian cinema very closely, Lata Srinivasan. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Before I get to the rest of the panel, let me come to you first, Lata. Give us the importance, both from an emotional sense and from a larger sense of the fight against sexual harassment in cinema, of this acquittal of actor Dileep, because many of those who observed this very closely believe that this case was the start of that entire campaign.
Yes, absolutely, Veera. I think this was a case that, had significance not just for the Kerala film industry or for Kerala, but for India and Indian film industries as a whole. The fact that, an actress had been raped and assaulted in a moving car, and subsequently the fight that she put up, for 8 years, the kind of public scrutiny, not just that Dileep endured, but she endured as a victim. And she stood up, and there were others in the film industry, other women, who stood up for it in the film industry, formed the Women in Cinema Collective, compelled the government to take action and form the Hema committee to delve into the ongoings in the Kerala film industry. I think this this was a precedent which was never seen before in Indian film history. But emotionally also, the fact that this happened to an actress and how there was no justice being done and the case kept getting delayed over 8 years, I think not just people in the film industry, but even the public was angered as to why, there was no action.
You're right, Lata. And before I get to Vasudha, because Vasudha has some very strong questions on this issue as well. Vasudha, Beena Paul, member of the Women in Cinema Collective and an Indian film editor herself, joins us. Beena, thanks very much for speaking to us. The question that's being raised is twofold. One is the fact that there's been an acquittal, the fact that nothing concrete has emerged out of the Hema committee report raises two very concerning questions. What does this mean to another young woman who wants to complain about sexual harassment, A? And B, were these allegations first, some would turn around and say, lacked substance. How do you see the verdict today and how do you see the whole campaign panning out?
Well, I have to say this, that I think it's not a good idea to imagine or even let women believe that this is not the way. I think we have to continue to believe in the judiciary, and I do believe that it will go forward and there will be questions answered. We haven't seen the judgment yet. We only know this verdict that has come, and it would be really important to understand how and why, because it was an in-camera trial and all the information we got was from the media. So we'd like to really know how the judge came to this conclusion, because from the outside, it looked like an open and shut case. This is very important, I think, that we understand why this happened and how it got there. And secondly, I would really never discourage a woman and say that, each fight is a fight worth fighting. You have to face it. It's not an easy. I mean, we've just seen in this case how long and how consistently she's been at it. So I would really, I know it sounds very disappointing. It's at this point a very, very...
But Ms. Paul, let me ask you this question. Ms. Paul, in the course of the investigation of this case, we saw a lot of witnesses turning hostile. Do you think there was a problem with the procedures, and also the fact that, when the Hema committee report came out, some of those really, heartbreaking findings, in the sense women get harassed for a packet of food, and most of them are people from, who are not even actresses, who work, who are just starters, who are just fledgling actresses. What kind of impact does it have on those women? And most importantly, are you optimistic that this case will take a progressive twist ahead?
The Hema committee really exposed something that we had all known for very long. The fact that the women came and spoke was very, very important. We must never underestimate that and think that just because they did not file FIRs, there was no effect. It had a very strong effect. I think it really shook the industry when they understood something that WCC had been saying right from the beginning, that there is a systemic problem. Yes. When the Hema committee exposed this, it was very shocking. I think the women who did speak up had found their closure. They did not feel that there was need to go into cases which go on forever. We don't have a good record as far as how long these things take, the amount of, you relive trauma. I think in this case, she spoke about how she had to literally relive the trauma in court. So it's not an easy journey. I don't think it's fair on the women who spoke to say that it was for nothing. They spoke, they have made a difference today, WCC, and lots of women are advocating for change. And we stand on the shoulders of these brave women.
No, you're making a very important point, and I think it would be great disservice to say that there is no issue at all in per se, but the question of it having to be proven in a court of law. Advocates, we've got two advocates here, Vasudha, with us, TRS Kumar and Vimala Bindu. Mr. Kumar, first and foremost, would you believe that what does this verdict actually imply? The fact is that there is a genuine fear that there could be many cases that could just get swept under the carpet. So how do you see this verdict, and what do you think is the big takeaway?
See, I have not get the copy of judgment because it will be delivered on as all the people or on 12th of this month. That means after passing sentence against the accused, quantum of sentence, then only we will get the copy of the verdict. But one point I would like to mention that Dileep, actor Dileep, is fully innocent in this case. Because these panels, they never see the records of the prosecution. I have gone through the entire records of the prosecution. I have seen the clippings. I have seen entire prosecution records, and I have cross-examined the victim also. See, there is no single piece of evidence against actor Dileep in order to prove the case against Dileep as well as other accused. According to me, this is a fit case for acquittal. All person would have acquitted because one thing.
Let me take this question to Miss Bindu. Miss Bindu, do you think it was a failure of the prosecution? Because it was not, it was Pulsar Sunny who basically said that quotation and contract was Dileep's. It was not the survivor who said it, right? So clearly there was some involvement there, but the fact that this did not go the way the survivor hoped for, where do you think the lapse occurred?
The prosecution failed in this matter to prove the conspiracy. And in this matter, conspiracy is a matter which is to be proved, it's very complicated to prove criminal conspiracy. And in the criminal conspiracy, there must be a criminal object that which must be established, and there must be an agreement which must be established, the plan must be established, like that. And so in this matter, almost 23 witnesses to my knowledge have turned hostile. So proving conspiracy, like there was a criminal object and they were intimate associates. All these evidences were subsequently, since because of the hostility of witnesses, the witnesses were hostile, and so the prosecution could not prove all these things beyond any reasonable doubt, and that's the reason which led to the acquittal. And moreover, the investigation was not fully
no, when you say that
evidence
Vimala,
to the aspect that what was the
Advocate Vimala Binu and TRS Kumar, when you say this
yes.
point that the prosecution could not prove the case, then that brings, Vasudha, doesn't it bring down to the fundamental question, Ranjini? You're an actor and an activist as well. One could turn around and say that if the case cannot be proven in prosecution, then it was a trial by media, ultimately so far. What's then the solution? No. What's the message that's then being sent across?
Good evening to the elite panelists here, and thank you for inviting me to join this discussion. According to the law, as what Advocate Kumar and Advocate Vimala, both of them are correct, because there were lack of evidences. The court always usually asks for evidences, and then a verdict can be pronounced. But here we have a lot of, I do not want to say such words, but there were some discrepancies happened. So we couldn't pinpoint to the particular actor called Dileep. So 1 to 6, they were the real perpetrators. That means they have done the act. They have committed the act. So that is the reason why they have been found guilty. and the rest have been acquitted due to lack of evidences. So I totally agree in the law points of Advocate Kumar and Vimala over there. And so basically, what are we looking for? After the Nirbhaya case, we have the JS Verma committee report. And over there, what the findings were, he decided that there should be a fast-track courts and speedy trials. Apparently, after Nirbhaya, I think we can say that this was the sensational case throughout India. And there were again...
That's a very important point. Beena Paul, would you like to come on this? Because it's, everybody, even TRS Kumar said that there was no evidence.
Okay. I think Vasudha,
okay, let me go to TRS Kumar first.
TRS Kumar, Paul, Vasudha. But I think the key question that you are posing really, and perhaps you can pose this to TRS Kumar and also also to Vimala.
TRS Kumar, we just heard you say that. Yeah, we just heard you say that, there was no evidence. But the fact that the quotation, the allegation came from this Pulsar Sony and not really, and he has been convicted in this case and it did not come from the survivor. The fact that the survivor has been fighting this case for the last 7 years, a lot of witnesses could have turned hostile, but the fact that there was also allegation that financial resources were used, it's not all clean here, sir, and the state government now saying that they will appeal against it. What makes you think that this case will remain the way it is?
Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar,
can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question?
The question was very simple. The question was that the fact that the state is going to go for appeal, on this case, that there are several other allegations that have come into play. What makes you believe that this is an open and shut case?
I could not hear you properly, but I would answer. See, state has decided to file an appeal. This is the information given by the law minister in Kerala. See, we have decided to file an appeal as far as 126 is concerned, because in this case, a fundamental right is violated. Article 20 bracket 3 is violated in this trial because trial is vitiated by the trial court. Because a fundamental right, no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. In this case, that fundamental right is violated. As far as 126 accused is concerned, clearly get an acquittal from High Court. Because the facts of the case, I am coming to the facts of the case, how to attack Article 20 bracket 3. Alleged incident happened. After the incident, Pulsar Suni went to the lawyer. He signed the wakalat along with the other two accused. The third accused, Manikandan, fourth accused, Vijish. All together signed wakalat for his defense. Then what happened after that? Police threatened the lawyer.
Okay.
E.C. Paulus was the lawyer. E.C. Paulus, PW 20 was examined. PW 20 clearly admitted that I had been given threat by the police.
Sorry,
no, you're making very...
So that I produced memory card.
No, you're making a very strong allegation. You're making very strong points.
That was brought from the...
No, I get the point that you're making. Beena Paul is back with us.
Allegation of the...
while the arguments will play out, I think Mr. Kumar cannot hear me very clearly there. Can we check his audio? Beena Paul, the question that's been raised repeatedly is also that when you have an acquittal of this nature and you have such large media focus and such a strong campaign, what does it do to the campaign today? As somebody who's involved in that campaign, what's the sense right now? Is there a sense that, look, this was a lot of hype, but we were not able to take it to the right conclusion? And B, what next?
I think the media's got it a little wrong. The campaign was not only for this particular case or for this particular person. It was
Yeah.
much more that we were asking for systemic changes. We are asking for a zero policy of any tolerance against sexual violence. We are looking at making the place more inclusive for women. You see, what this case raised for us was very, very deep issues of misogyny in a workplace. And that is what we are addressing, and we will continue to address. We want ICs, we've fought a case, we won, we've got ICs in place, we've got to see them function properly. The point is that, of course, this case is what brought us together, but it has raised other questions, and I think that change is what we are looking at. Some stuff has happened, and certainly in this case, we are hoping that it moves forward in terms of what the law dictates. But this is not our only.
Right.
We are certainly with her. We stand with her. We will stand with her always. But as WCC, we are going to examine the judgment, find out what it says. But what we are looking for is systemic changes where there is a more inclusive space for women in the industry.
That's an
and it's
important
happening
point that you're
already.
making there, that you're looking at systemic change, but perhaps one case at a time. There would be great questions raised about the impact of this verdict and what this really means, because there are multiple sides to that argument. But thanks very much for joining us. Unfortunately, we'll have to end that conversation there.